And joining us now from Philadelphia with more on what this means for JP Morgan and corporate governance going forward is James Angel. He's the finance professor at Georgetown University and the visiting associate professor at the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. James, thanks so much for joining us. We're going to get straight into it. So JP Morgan shares are at their highest level in 12 years, and they're up 63% over the past year. So why were shareholders so keen? Well, not all of them, but some of them keen to give Jamie Dimon a boot. Did they really think that he didn't do enough in terms of oversight with the London whale trade?
Well, the London whale trades certainly scared people. JP Morgan had invented credit derivatives. Everyone thought they were the experts, and for them to mess up so badly scared a lot of people.
Do you think, though, that had there been some greater oversight, that perhaps this would have been averted? Was this something that fell under Dimon's portfolio of responsibilities ultimately?
Well, ultimately, everything at the bank falls on his desk. I mean, the buck stops there, to coin an old phrase.
The buck stops there, and yet Jamie Dimon has led JP Morgan through no single quarterly loss since the financial crisis. So that's a big kudos to him.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he steered the company through the financial crisis and has done an amazing job, maintaining its fortress balance sheet.
Now, among the big U.S. banks, only two have different people as CEO and chairman. That's Bank of America and Citigroup. But these banks have not performed as well as JP Morgan. So splitting the role, not necessarily better for profits, is it?
No, the academic research is mixed. It is not a panacea that will automatically guarantee that there will never be another problem.
But what has the consensus been? That, I mean, if JP Morgan is performing better than the ones with split roles, why split up the role?
Well, I think what really matters is the people involved more than the job description. If you have a powerful lead director who knows what they're doing, that is far better than having a weak person with the title of chairman. So the people are more important than the actual job description.
Well, in the case of JP Morgan, the savior of Wall Street, a celebrated Wall Street banker, do you think that he was able to keep his role more because of his threat to step down if he didn't, and because there's no one inclined to be his possible successor, or because the board overall forgave the oversight?
Well, I don't think the threat was taken very seriously, in that even if the roles had been separated, I think everyone still wanted Jamie to be there, and I don't think he would have resigned in a huff. And even if he had, there's still plenty of other people willing and able to lead a bank like JP Morgan.
Let's look at the bigger picture. Jamie Dimon said today that the U.S. does have the best, deepest, wisest, and most transparent markets. So the push to more corporate governance, do you think that's justified, and do you think we can see more changes in the future?
Yes, shareholders need to be actively engaged in the companies they own because it's their companies. So I think we're going to see continuing focus on better corporate governance, and I think we're going to continue to see shareholders paying more attention to how their companies are performing.
There's more split in the executive structure amongst European banks. Do you think this is a trend that we can see in U.S. banks going forward?
Well, it is certainly popular among corporate governance types, but I don't think it's a panacea. I think the people are more important than the job description. I serve on a corporate board where we have a lead director, and we have a majority of independent directors. We meet independently of the company management, and I think we do a very effective job of actually overseeing the management. So that works far better than if we had a chairman who is a mere ceremonial figurehead who is not really actively governing the board.
Right, that's a very valid point. We're going to have to leave it there. We're out of time, but thank you so much, James Angel, finance professor at Georgetown University.